And the root of all evil is money? I don't know.
No, is the
misquoted.
The desire of the
desire for
No,
money?
the pursuit of money. The
pursuit of money is the root
oh
of all
God,
evil.
people are going to come after us.
Who cares? I'm saying it. It's my thing. I'm not taking it from service. I'm saying the root of all evil is money. Period.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to Dear Shandy, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Fine. Just fine.
Just fine. Yeah. What about you? How are you?
I like the word fine.
Fine has many uses.
Yeah.
That's one of those words where, like, when they were making the language, you're just like, you know what? Let's use this word for everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very versatile.
Fine cookware.
Yes.
Fine dining.
I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fine.
Yeah,
you
you're
look fine. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fine, like a fine hair or a fine-toothed comb.
So true. Fine dining.
I said that already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're feeling fine. Usually when people say they're feeling fine, it's just, I'm fine.
Yeah. No, I'm in a little bit of funk since we got back from Ireland.
You have
little
been.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Marky Mark? Funky Bunch?
No, it's funk. I'm in a funk.
Wait, that's a reference to a movie I haven't seen?
No, it's not. Just a reference to a pop singer who's now an actor.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Why is he called Marky Mark? I don't understand that.
That was his rap name when he was a kid.
Really?
Well, that was his like pop music, whatever he was. Was he a rapper?
Mark Wahlberg rapped?
Oh, he rapped. He was with the Funky Bunch.
Are you serious?
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. That's something that most people don't know. And I'm thinking that Mark Wahlberg is the person who wants to keep it that way.
Oh, you think?
Oh, I do not think that Mark Wahlberg is proud of his Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch days.
Do you think it's sort of like George Clooney having been on the Days of Our Lives or whatever show he was on?
I think it's significantly worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's embarrassed.
I think he's embarrassed.
Well, it's why he is where he is today.
Yeah. He's gone from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch to movie stardom.
So you're in a funk.
I'm in a funk.
Oh, do you want to talk about your funk to the Shandies? Have them help. Maybe you can ask them a cue about your funk and have them answer in the comments.
Well, it's just a general funk. I landed from Ireland and I've been in a funk ever since.
November. Is there something about November?
I never have good Novembers.
You
Novembers
don't.
and December, my two worst months.
I think it's your birthday month.
Yeah.
Can I just say it? I think it's your birthday.
It's also, I don't do well with seasons changing too cold. I've never done well with it.
Too cold?
I don't do well with season changes in general.
Uh-huh.
I have an issue with them.
Why?
And when they change from warmer to colder, I have more of an issue.
That is so bizarre because that's the literal opposite of me. Like I get excited when it gets colder.
Huh. That's
I love it when it gets
Canadian.
cold. Yeah, I love cold. I really love winter.
Interesting.
I could never live in a winter.
I don't mind winter when it's there.
Yeah.
I just don't like getting to it.
So because
it's the transition that I have trouble with.
Okay, isn't there a name for that? Like seasonal
seasonal adjustment disorder.
Yeah.
SAD. I have SAD. It's the light too. I don't like the loss of light.
Yeah.
I have a very big beef with daylight savings time. I want it to end.
Okay.
Enough of this. Just keep the time. The time's always the same.
Yeah.
But I don't like I don't like the darkness. I don't like the veering to cold. I don't like the sort of symbolic nature of the fall where it's like the dying.
Oh.
You know? And I like the plants. I love plants and I love flowers and bees and bugs and they all go away in the winter.
Andy.
And also I was in Ireland. Ireland was so nice.
Yeah, it was very green and
lush. It was
lush.
just so lovely. Everything was so lovely. And I got back here and I was like, there's good things about New York, but it was just like, it was a bad transition.
Yeah.
I've been having a rough go.
You have. Andy's been having a rough November. So Shandies.
But Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Is it time to give thanks? Not
to stop bitching and moaning.
To stop bitching. That's what it is.
Yes.
Just really stop
Think about
bitching,
how
giving.
lucky you are, how grateful you are for all you have, Andy.
I have so much.
Yes.
And I have all the Shandies.
Yes.
Who has all the Shandies? No one has them except me.
And me.
And you.
Yes.
We share them.
Yes.
Equally? 50-50?
I honestly think the Shandies love you a bit more than me.
Oh, stop it. No, we're not going to get into that now. That's ridiculous.
It's okay. I've accepted
Ridiculous.
it. It's like when we get a review that's like, came for Sharleen, stayed for Andy. I'm like, okay, that wasn't necessary, but okay.
Anyway, enough about that. The point is that everyone should feel sorry for me.
Oh
no, I was talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The point is that we should give thanks for the things that we have.
Yes. Okay. We have cues to A today, Andy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, let's get going with some fine questions. All right, this first question is from K, as in the letter. Dear Shandy, it's been a rough several years, and you two have truly been healing my heart through laughter. Oh, I love you both so much and appreciate all the effort you put into each episode. Thank you so much, Kay. What a nice way to open. I'm Kay, and I'm a 35-year-old female in the U.S. Last year, I started playing in a church softball league along with a couple of friends. I played for a few years as a child, so while I'm not proficient, I'm also not a total newbie. I experienced ups and downs last season, but overall, I had enough fun to sign up again this year. This year, the new team is very competitive and focused solely on winning. We're about halfway through a 2-month-long season. I've been able to make contact with the ball when I've been up to bat, but I can't seem to make it on base. I can also catch and throw, but I still just feel like a liability to my team as I'm the only one who can't hit. I can't stand the thought of being the weakest link and the reason why the team loses. I enjoy playing softball, so if I quit, it's to get out of my team's way. On the flip side, I don't want to quit because I feel like it sends a negative message to my son who is 6 and is heavily involved in his own sports. Please help me navigate this internal battle. Thank you, Kay. And the title of the email is It Okay to Be a Quitter?
I love her 6-year-old who's heavily involved in his own sports.
So true. Oh, I have one of those itches in my eyelid. You know, like it's an itch that the second you stop itching it gets itchy again. I'll survive.
Yeah. Those are the itches you shouldn't itch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If an itch stays itchy after you've itched it, those are the ones you stay away from.
Okay.
I've learned that.
Okay. I'm having eye issues on this side. Okay. So is it okay to be a quitter? I thought this was a fun, but also kind of deep question to start with. I mean, it's a relationship with oneself. And in this case, caring what people... she cares a lot about letting her team down. I think this is really relatable.
Yeah.
You could argue she's being considerate, but you could also argue that she maybe cares too much what people think.
It's a tough one because it really depends how serious the game is.
Yeah.
Because if the game is serious, like people are like, we got to win. We're going to win this year. Like we got to make it happen. Mm-hmm. Then she may consider that she's causing hardship for people on the team.
Hardship. Yeah, but I mean, it's like a recreational thing. She says this team happens to be competitive, but...
Who asked her to be on the team?
I think she just signed up because she wanted to do this fun thing.
So there was no tryouts. That's where they went wrong.
I do not suspect there were tryouts, but I love that she's doing this. I mean, I think you can tell by my reaction what I think she should do or not do. I can't really tell what you think.
You know what I think? I think, look... If she's not getting any feedback, negative feedback, or sort of subtle or passive aggressive feedback, I think that she should just consider it that she's a novelty on the team.
Yeah.
Like the team has to win despite her, which creates, another hurdle for achievement. Uh-huh. So when the team wins, they're like, wow, we won. And we have her on the team.
Oh,
we're so good at softball.
I'm thinking, how amazing might it feel when she starts to realize that she's improving, which she will never get to experience if she quits.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that too.
No, I think that this is one of those things where it's not that serious a game.
Yeah.
So just enjoy it. Maybe they like you being on the team for other reasons, other than your softball playing abilities.
To me, the thing that stands out is at the top of the 4th paragraph, she says, I enjoy playing softball. So if I quit, it's to get out of my own team's way. She answered her own question right there.
She enjoys playing softball.
She enjoys playing softball, even though she's not that amazing at it so far. Imagine how much she's going to enjoy it when she starts to improve. Kay, I think the answer is pretty clear. Like, I'm not against quitting in 100% of cases, truly. Like, it might sound like I am, but in this case, she enjoys playing. If she signed up and realized she doesn't enjoy it because she's not good at it, that would be a different kind of question. In this case, don't quit. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also, it's not a very competitive league. If it was super competitive, I would say this is a weird situation.
Well, if it was starting to feel toxic and like there was a lot of pressure on her. And,
if you've gotten no feedback from anyone, like, maybe it's time to think about hanging it up, then just keep going. As Sharleen said, maybe you get better. Maybe you become the best player on the team.
Also, I think it's good for competitive people to lose. once in a while.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, like all the people on her team are so competitive. It's good for them. It builds character. They learn how to like behave properly by being faced with loss. It's good for everyone if she stays in this.
I'm not 100% sure the people on this team care that much about winning. They may just care about playing. Like often in these recreational leagues, like when I used to play, like I was really just into playing.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about winning. What were we going to win?
She might be interpreting their enthusiasm to play as competitiveness to win. It's totally
I agree.
possible.
And it also, I hate to say it, but it makes you feel better about your own skills when someone else is worse than you.
I thought about mentioning that, but I was like, oh, that's a little low. Thanks for going there, Andy. All right, Kay, good luck. I don't think you need it, honestly, because I think that practice makes perfect, not luck. And I think that you're going to improve and start to feel really good about the fact that you didn't quit. So I don't think you should quit.
And you know what Kay is?
What?
Kay is a good person.
Yes.
Because she's thinking about this.
Yes, and a good mother because she wants to set a certain example for her son.
She's got a good heart.
Yes, we like you, Kay. Don't quit. Yeah. All right, this next question is from X, in the letter X. Dear Shandy, you are amazing. This podcast is amazing, and both of your singing is amazing. Both of your singing, Andy. I'll get right to it. Oh, thank you, X. That's so nice. I am 34 female, and my husband is 39 male. We met about 2 years ago and got married about 6 months ago. We live in the U.S. on the East Coast. It's the first marriage for both of us, and I'm assuming the last. We communicate great together, respect each other's independence, and align on so many things like religion, life goals, and not wanting children. He'll listen to Dear Shandy with me sometimes and agrees with what Andy says 99.9% of the time. Big green flag.
Wow.
I feel like I can write about all the great things in our relationship forever, but I want your perspective on one thing I'm worried about: sex. I don't have a very high sex drive, and I don't think he does either. At least he never really pushes for it. We still lovingly hold hands, caress each other non-sexually, kiss, and enjoy each other's touch. Before marriage, we weren't super sexual, but would engage periodically. Since our marriage, we have been physically intimate once on our wedding night. Oh my God.
Wow.
I love that they had sex on their wedding night and not since. To me, the wedding night is like, why would you have sex?
Last night I would have sex.
This isn't really an issue for me, and I've asked him about it a few times, and he says it's not an issue either. Oh, and by the way, I hope it doesn't sound like I'm judging them for not having sex since. I thought it was
I'm judging
funny.
the wedding night sex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it would be less weird to me if they just hadn't had sex at all since their wedding. Because to me, wedding night sex is like you're so exhausted.
Yeah, it's the last thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, we really weren't thinking about
sleep and like an antacid.
Oh, I wanted food.
And food.
This isn't really an issue for me, and I've asked him about it a few times, and he says it's not an issue either. However, I can't shake the feeling that it's not right to have a relationship like this. Everything is perfect, but I feel guilt from time to time that he might not be satisfied in that way. But he does get more irritable the more I bring it up, which is probably every couple of months. Maybe the guilt is just from living my 20s, hearing people sexualize everything and having friends that seem offended if they found out you weren't getting laid often. I am curious your thoughts on the idea of a happy marriage without sex and how you think I should approach this subject in the future with him. Thank you for all you do for us, Shandies X. And the title, by the way, is a sexless marriage destined for failure. What I find interesting about this one is how everything seems great to the point where she even says, I could go on and on and on about how great things are. And she's also satisfied with the amount of sex they have and thinks he's also satisfied. It's more, she wonders from the outside world if this is not right. And I feel like that inherently is not what marriage is about. Marriage is about a relationship between two people separate from the world.
Yeah. And are you happy?
Yes.
And are you being honest with yourself about being happy?
Yes.
I think that the question is flawed in the sense that is a sexless marriage a good marriage? That's not one size fits all.
No. And I think there are many very happy marriages where they don't have sex.
Yeah. And there are many marriages where there's no sex, where there's a problem. That is either a result of the no sex or the no sex is a result of the bad marriage.
Or there are many relationships where they have tons of sex and it's a terrible relationship.
100%.
In fact, that's the most likely
I would say the most sexed up marriages.
Yes.
might sometimes be the most problematic.
I would say often.
Because you can't base a relationship on sex. I mean, you can, and there are people who do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, but it's rare.
Yeah, and you can't maintain that kind of sexual energy
It's not possible.
for a really, really long time.
You have to get really weird.
Yeah.
Weird to the point where it's
I mean,
like,
no judgment here. I think if they can make it work, that's great. I
might run out of ideas. I'm saying.
Or you might be fighting a lot because that's what keeps the charge going.
Right, and without the fighting, you can't have the good sex.
Exactly.
So the question is flawed.
Yes.
But let's answer her question, which is it normal or is it okay for her and her husband not to be having any sex?
The word normal.
Normal for them.
Yeah, but we have to be careful about the word normal because I think normal is whatever you think normal is.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean normal for society, but society has no place in this marriage.
No.
This is the two of you. That's
Yes.
it. There's no judgment from outside. No one can give an opinion on this. However, since this is such a good marriage, and I believe it is.
Yes.
It sounds great. I mean, the guy agrees with me 99.9% of the time. It's got to be amazing.
I think it's funny that it's not 100.
I know. I want to know what that 0.1 is.
Yeah, I'm curious.
For beautiful skin that's easy to see, use apostrophe.
Eddie, that was an unfinished jingle.
Okay.
We all have jingle blue balls.
That's all you get? Sorry.
Well, apostrophe really does make beautiful skin easy to see. And that is because it is prescription skincare delivered directly to your door without ever having to physically go to the dermatologist or the doctor or the pharmacy to pick up said prescription, because apostrophe connects you with board certified dermatologists. Basically, you fill out their online skin consultation where you take selfies of your skin and then you fill out what your skincare concerns are. And then a real board certified dermatologist reviews that information and then prescribes you something. And as proof, here I have my 0.05% tretinoin with 4% niacinamide. You can tell that it's an actual prescription. I'm like, look, it's a real prescription. It's got my name on it. It's got the doctor's name on it. The best part was not only was this prescribed for me, it's specifically for me, but then it was delivered to our door. I never had to go pick it up.
And it's not only face.
Yes, they also treat chest knee, back knee, and butt knee, and they do oral and topical. So we have a very special deal for our listeners, the Shandies, right now. You can get your first visit with an apostrophe provider for only $5 when you go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy. That is a savings of $15, and this offer is only available to our listeners.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and click Get Started.
Then use our code Shandy at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this episode.
So I think that this is a perfect topic to go to couples therapy over.
Couples therapy?
Yes, and not couples therapy, which there's a problem. I want to make it very clear. I do not believe there is a problem here, but I believe there might be the opposite of a problem that can be uncovered and can blossom your relationship even more. Because I think that there might be something that the two of you are not being honest with each other or yourselves about that might be holding back this part of your relationship. And I'm not saying you need this part of your relationship. I'm just saying that what if you could have all the good things of your relationship now and then just layer this on top?
Layer what on top?
Layer a sexual aspect on top.
Yeah, but you're already making it sound like they should be having sex in order for the relationship to be more like deep.
I am absolutely not. What I'm saying is it's like a guy. He has a closet of clothes. Okay. The guy really cares about fashion.
Okay.
And he's got all these clothes and they're great. He loves his clothes. But he's
one of those people that has all these untouched sneakers.
Yeah, but there's
they've never been worn. They're like pristine and white.
There's like a layer. He's one of those guys. It's like he has like several layers of shoes that go back in the closet. And the back layer, he forgot it exists.
No, he doesn't forget. He goes and he looks at them, but he never wears them.
Right, but they're too hard
designer.
to get to.
No, they're designer.
They're designer. Okay.
We have different definitions of this guy's
analogy is
closet.
a little flimsy. But the point is, I think that if maybe there's a part of the closet that hasn't been explored,
okay, that
if explored could just expand the wardrobe. And maybe you see that part of the closet and you're like, no, there's a reason why that stuff is in that part of the closet. I don't care about it. I don't want that. I'm not interested. But I think there's something going on here that is above and beyond just neither of them caring about sex at all.
Okay. I agree with one aspect of what you're saying, but I don't agree with the whole, with what you just said, which is that, I don't like the idea that this has to represent something. right? Like neither of them having big sex drives has to represent this thing that needs being uncovered, because I think it suggests that their relationship would be more whole if they were having regular sex, which I actually don't think is the case, to be honest.
No, it just might be more whole if they got to the bottom of why they don't have sex.
Well, but even that, I think that two people can just have a lower sex drive. And if you happen to be coupled up with someone who feels the same way as you do, then that is amazing. That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's honestly the dream, is to marry someone who has the exact same amount of a sex drive that you have.
But isn't it life about exploration?
No.
Don't you want to get to the bottom? Like we're not having any sex. We're people who previously had sex with people. We enjoyed
yeah, but she
sex.
even said that it was never a driving force of their relationship. And let's be honest, if it was never a driving force, even in the first year and a half, then it makes sense. And as they get married, they're just like not as interested. The thing that stands out to me that I do agree with you on, with like the idea of exploring couples therapy, even though we try not to just give that advice where it's like, go to therapy. You know, it's sort of like a cop-out answer. Like we try not to do that. It's her touching on bringing it up with him and then how he bristles in response.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The reason I'm suggesting couple therapy is because we can't have them in the room right now and
ask
talk
them a
to
million
them and
questions.
ask them questions and have them talk to each other. They need to go to a professional who can do that in person.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really interesting conversation if nothing came of it other than they just solidified their feelings that like, this is cool.
Yeah.
We're good with the sexless marriage. This is the way we want it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the sort of like elephant in the room chasm vibe of her wondering, her writing into a podcast, into a podcast that he apparently listens to once in a while, but apparently not enough to listen to this, I guess. But her bringing it up with him, and every couple of months, she said, so let's say she's brought it up 3 times since they've gotten married twice. I don't know. And he gets almost like irritable. He's annoyed.
That's why.
That's what's interesting.
There's nothing else about this question
Yeah.
that I would have just been like, rock on. You're good. That's the thing that makes me wonder. Is there something going on that needs to be at least fleshed out a little bit between them?
Unless the thing that annoys him is being expected to want more sex than he actually wants, which I can picture as a man being annoying. Because
then he should communicate that.
Well, yeah, but that's why I think you're right. Like, I think something could be explored here. But honestly, I'm even hesitant to be like, they should go fix this. Because I think that this is probably going to come to the surface. And right now there's just nothing wrong right now. I think like, yeah, I do really believe in preemptive or like maintenance couples therapy, you know, so I think that it could be good for them. But I think she's already making a bigger deal of it than needs to be made of it by writing in, I think. And then we're already making a bigger deal of it by being like, oh, maybe you could explore the fact that he reacts in that way. This whole thing, I think, just needs to be like taken down one notch, because I just don't think it necessarily matters. And I think as a man, maybe without a high sex drive, assuming there's nothing else in the mix, you know, assuming he doesn't have some secret porn addiction or something that we don't know about, which is totally possible. But assuming none of that is the case, I can picture being a man in today's society without having a high sex drive being a little annoying, because everyone expects you to just want to have sex all the time and to be really sexually driven. And maybe you're just like, I've never been that person. I'm tired of needing to be that person, pretending to be that person. And I finally found my forever partner, and I don't want to be expected to want sex all the time. It's just not my thing.
So why not have that conversation? Why don't you tell her that?
Yeah. It does feel like there is a bit of a hole in the middle of their living room that they're both just like dancing around.
Are you saying there's a hole they're not filling?
Oh, Andy.
Sorry. Come on. How was I supposed to not do that?
Okay. Well, I think we kind of sort of answered this one. I'm curious to know what the Shandies think of this one. Like when they chime in the comments.
I have a feeling people are going to come at me for suggesting they need to fix this problem. And I want to make it clear that that's not what I said, because I think you're trying to put those words in my mouth. I do not think this problem needs to be fixed. Yeah. I just think it's like,
you just called it a problem.
I just think that someone may not know that they like whipped cream or not, and they're eating sundaes every single day without whipped cream, thinking that they don't like whipped cream. And maybe there's something going on. Maybe there's something that they're blocking with whipped cream. And if they let that go, then they're going to have a full sundae with whipped cream and they're going to like it. I don't know.
If there's some like world of fetish that has yet to be explored with these two. That
couples therapy.
Yeah.
This is not a fixing situation. Yeah. There's nothing to be fixed.
Okay.
This is a good marriage.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be jealous of this marriage.
Totally.
It's a friend. It's based in friendship and
companionship.
That's the core of marriage.
Yes.
Sex is not, honestly, I got to be honest, and a lot of people who've been married for, more than 10 years will say the same thing. Like, oh, trust me, we know.
Yeah.
Sex and marriage is not, they don't have to go hand in hand.
No.
You have sex to have kids. You have sex once in a while on your birthday. Maybe you have your birthday sex. And I'm not saying that's what we do. I'm just saying we have, it's less than used to be, but it happens when it happens. But the point is that marriage and sex, I have no issue with a sexless marriage.
Okay.
What I have issue with is that two people who are so connected and having such a wonderful life can't maybe just explore.
Can't have a conversation about
it. Just a little exploration
Yes.
in something. If they have so much comfort in the rest of their lives,
Yes.
they should have comfort in having this conversation. And who knows?
Agreed.
I'm not saying sex is the winning part of this equation.
Yes.
I'm just saying that maybe they'll find out something that will just add another layer of goodness to this wonderful marriage.
Yes. Even if it means filling that hole without
filling the actual hole.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
The
removing.
hole can be filled without something going in it.
Removing the elephant in the room. All right, X, good luck. I think maybe you kind of need it just because I think it's tricky when you're really comfortable in a relationship to have a conversation about the one thing that's uncomfortable. You get used to the comfort, right? It's so comforting.
It's right. It's very difficult. And this is the most difficult thing, I think, is the conversation about sex.
Yes, for them, it seems.
It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. It's a little contrived. It feels wrong. Like you're not supposed to talk about sex. You're supposed to do sex or not do it.
Can you think of what that was for us? Like what was the uncomfortable thing for us? I think I know what I think it was.
Money?
Yeah. I think for us it was money.
I think it was more money.
Yeah. And I think every couple has that. And of course the reason why you work so well as a couple is because most of these conversations are really comfortable, right? But it's inevitable that some topic is going to be a little like, okay, like we have to tread differently. Not carefully, but differently.
But you know what? Those are the most rewarding conversations.
Yes.
The ones that you think, you fear, should not be out there, that you avoid. You're like, I don't want to talk about that because it's going to be bad. If you have a solid base of a marriage, those are the most exhilarating conversations when you finally have them. It's almost like you're like, it's lifted off of you. You learn about each other.
Totally.
There's forgiveness. There's warmth. There's understanding.
Acceptance.
And maybe you find something out that you didn't know.
Like that you love whipped cream.
Maybe you fill that hole.
Okay. All right, X, good luck. All right, this next
There's
question.
also the possibility he could be gay. I'm just putting that out there. I don't know.
You covering your bases.
I know in the comments, I was like, well, he may be gay. And I'm like, well, I couldn't say that.
Okay, so you said it. All right, this next question is from Natalie. Dear Shandy.
A person.
Yes.
This must be not a very embarrassing question.
Dear Shandy, first of all, thanks so much for all the work you put into your podcast. I love listening on my commute to work and find myself constantly laughing out loud alone in my car. It's the best. Thank you, Natalie. So cute.
I like to think about people laughing.
I
in their
know.
car.
It's one of my greatest joys.
thing.
Yes. The idea that we can provide that for someone. Because it's hard to get a laugh. Especially nowadays.
It is hard to get a laugh. People are, they want to laugh.
Yeah.
We need laughs. And
I love to laugh.
I love to laugh. What is that?
Loud and long and clear.
I don't.
No, you don't know what that's from?
I don't like it, and I don't know what it's from.
I will say it's not the finest song from.
Sounds terrible.
Okay, can you just try to guess?
Oliver.
That's a reasonable guess, but no, I'll sing something else from it, and then you can maybe
Mary
guess.
Poppins.
Yes.
Ooh, that's
very good,
Damn,
Andy.
Getting better at this.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying was, if I can die knowing that I made like a few thousand people laugh in their cars, I'm totally good. More than good. More than I could have ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
More than like inventing the cure for something.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, because laughter is kind of the cure for something.
Oh, that's so true, Andy. I love that.
Yeah.
This podcast has been a real gift that way because I feel like we get to share laughter with the world through your humor.
What
Like
about your
before, I
humor?
was just hoarding it all to myself. I really was.
I think you're discounting your humor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay.
I think you're funny.
I'm funnier in your presence than I am with anyone else.
I'll give you that.
As best evidenced by my time on The Bachelor. I do not think I was funny on that show. Okay, so my question is about a close friend, V, 25 female, and I, 32 female. Last year, we took a trip together out of the country and had about a year to save up for it. We had to purchase plane tickets and hotels in advance. V's mom purchased her plane ticket, and I purchased the cost of the hotel, around $2,100, and put it on my credit card. I let V know I didn't mind doing this because there was no interest for 6 months, So as long as she paid me back before then, it would be fine. And she agreed. Are you seeing where this is going, Andy?
Yes.
I was able to pick up a lot of extra hours and work and paid off my half within a few months. Fast forward to the trip. It was amazing, and V and I had so much fun together. When we first started our trip, she told me she was able to save $200 over the course of the year. Any extra spending money she had, she was gifted by her family, boyfriend, and friends. I know V works extremely hard and also helps support her mom at home. I found myself paying for most of our meals while we were there, no option for split checks, as well as different activities. V would tell me she'd get the next thing, but only did it once. This started to bother me towards the end of our trip, but honestly wasn't anything that I felt strongly enough about to even bring up with her. I think I might have felt bad that she doesn't make very much money and works 2 jobs, and I had enough saved to cover it. That being said, I just want to make it clear I'm not wealthy in any way. I mostly live paycheck to paycheck, and my work situation changed when I got home and had to take a huge pay cut. Anyways, we get back from our trip and everything was great. I texted V to ask how she wanted to pay for her half of the hotel costs, around $1,000, and reminded her that interest would start accruing in 3 months. She told me she didn't have any of it and listed some reasons why. I let her know she could pay me in small increments if she needed to, but that I also didn't have the money to pay it off and that I didn't want to have to pay interest for it. She sent me $50 over the course of 2 months. Oof. We had plans to hang out at some point and she canceled them. At one point, she texted me saying how sorry she was that she let me down and never meant to put me in a hard financial situation. I told her I missed her and that I wanted her to know I understand how hard she works and that I hated that we were in this situation. She didn't text back after that. Oof. Now it's been 3 months with nothing else sent to me, and now she's not responding to my texts. I think it's pretty clear I'm never getting that money back. Typically, I don't let money get between any relationship, but this is such a large amount that it has put me in a bind, and it's extremely upsetting. On top of that, it feels like I lost a really good friend. I've been in a huge funk over this, and even have dreams sometimes where we're still friends and are just hanging out.
Yeah.
It makes me so sad to think this friendship is over, and when I think of reaching out again, I still feel upset that it seems like now she's ghosting me. Should I reach out and let her know how I'm feeling? Do I just call it a loss on all fronts, or is a good friendship worth putting the money behind me? Thank you, Natalie.
Oh, man. You know what I think is interesting? You chose to use V for the friend's name, but in the email, she used her full name.
Yeah.
And I think it's an interesting subconscious move that she used her real name and her friend's real name.
Yes.
I'm assuming it's their real names.
I don't know.
She didn't say, let's call myself this and let's call her this. Those are real names.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, because if your question is chosen for a Q&A, would you prefer to be anonymous? She said no.
Yeah, I think what she's wrestling with.
It's possible Natalie's not her real name.
I think it is. I think she's wrestling with some real anger here. I think she wanted to shift. It's like, this is me and this is her. If you know us, like people know these people.
Oh, interesting.
Look, I'm telling you, this is us.
I saw the full name of the friend and I'm the one who chose to use a random letter instead.
But I noticed right away, whenever we have a question ever now, we started the podcast like the first year, people are like, oh, whatever. No one's listening to this.
Yeah.
And now I think people are a little more careful.
Yeah.
So when I see people using real names, especially their real name and someone else's real name, I always have to think about what's going on there. And I think what's going on there is pretty obvious.
She wants to punish her friend.
She's really angry.
Yes.
And I don't even need to see that she's using real names to know that. I would be pissed off too.
Oh my God.
This is such a weak move. Oh. And I know that she has financial issues. I get it.
Yeah.
But
you don't take what you can't return.
Exactly. She
took advantage of her friend's generosity and in my opinion had never any intention of paying it back. Or if maybe she was like, oh yeah, I'll pay you back, but didn't really think about the reality of what that would be. In which case, if you don't know you can pay someone back, you don't accept their generosity. I'm sorry. This is not her sugar mama. This is her friend.
I agree. This is a very bad move. And this is the kind of move where I think a very in-person and very profuse apology are in order.
Yeah, but she's not doing it. She's ghosting.
She's doing the opposite.
Yeah. You think she feels shame?
I think she feels a combination of shame. I think that's why she canceled plans originally. She's like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to go to like some meal or something where there's a check that needs to be paid for. And I have to think about that. Like she doesn't want to even deal with her.
Yeah.
She's avoiding the situation. She's essentially punishing her for putting pressure on her for asking her for the money that she's owed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big problems coming from V here
Yes.
that I do not like at all.
Yes.
I don't want to go as far as saying that Natalie should kind of just let go of V and just sort of call it a loss, because I think this seems to be a really good friendship. But I will say that there are some very serious fouls being committed here.
To me, this is... I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but this does not sound like a good friend. Like, to me, a friend doesn't do this to another friend. Especially, it's one thing if Natalie has family money and it's sort of understood that she's in a really comfortable, cushy financial situation. She's not.
Changes it.
I love that she made a point of adding, she's like, I am not wealthy. I work really hard for my money.
Yeah.
And to me, this, like, it shows such a disregard, not only for the feelings of Natalie, but for her financial situation. That is a double foul for me. Like, to me, this is friendship altering, if not ending. And it doesn't sound like V's trying to hold on to this friendship.
No, I think if she wants to, this, by the way, this wrestles with two concepts.
I know. I want to hear you talk about the other concept.
Yeah, this creates sort of a paradox.
Yes.
Because as memorialized on Dear Shandy.
Yes, and TikTok, by the way. Yes, so TikTok was made of this.
Oh, yes,
a lot of people agreed with you on TikTok.
If you lend a friend money, you have to assume that money will not be coming back to you. That's just a safe assumption for the friendship. So always lend.
And lending is the same as paying for something up front.
This is lending. This is the form of lending.
Yeah, this is tough because the friend didn't say, "Oh, can you loan me $1,000?"
This is a loan. Doesn't matter. You could. It's like an inverted loan. It's the same thing.
All right.
It's all a loan.
Sure.
So always, if you lend money to a friend, make it an amount that if you never see again, you're cool with. That is one of the hardest and fastest rules that I've learned in my life with friendships.
It's a painful lesson to learn.
It's a painful lesson because what happens is even if the amount of money is just a little bit uncomfortable, you can't help yourself but be like, where's that money? Give me that money. And if your friend is the kind of person who doesn't value that or doesn't feel like they need to pay you back, you can uncover something in that friendship that you really don't like that can become very insidious, that should have never arisen.
Yeah. Well,
like you shouldn't have to deal with that. Like you shouldn't have to have a friendship tarnished by the fact that something that never needed to be brought out was brought out.
100%. And it has 100% affected friendships for me. Like when I think back to my college days, when you have a night out and you get a round of drinks and then the same friend never pulls her weight and never gets the group a round of drinks, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to hang out with that friend anymore. Like I don't like feeling, it's not even about the money as much as it is about feeling like I'm being used or taken advantage of.
Disregarded, disrespected.
Yes, it is a huge factor.
Taken advantage of,
yes.
No, and I think that, that aside from that rule, which is hard and fast, do not lend friends money unless you expect to not get it back. And
that's it. So this is the dichotomy of her already having done that.
She's already done that. So you did that without following the rule. So now you're stuck. Now you've got exactly the type of situation that arises when there's an improper lending of money, meaning a lending of money with the expectation of receiving it back. Yeah. So I think that this is one of those unfortunate times when you have to take the highest of roads. I think because based on my theory about this, it's possible that the only fault in V's character is this thing. It's possible.
It's not, though. The fact that she would ghost her, the fact that she would cancel hanging out with her.
It's all related to the money. It's a tree that is grown out of this money.
Yes.
It's all, the roots are in the money.
Yes.
And the root of all evil is money. I don't know.
Is
misquoted.
The desire of the desire for money? The pursuit of money. The pursuit of money is the root of all evil. Oh God, people are going to come after us.
Who cares? I'm saying it. It's my thing. I'm not taking it from service. I'm saying the root of all evil is money. Period. Okay, so I'm not quoting anybody. Squarespace, where a beautiful website is made.
Yes, Andy. Right. Squarespace is where a beautiful website is made. I mean, how many more times can we talk about how beautiful the Squarespace websites are?
How many more times? Are people not listening?
I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for that nudge, that little push to actually create that website that you've been thinking about making, but you've been dragging your feet because you're like, oh, it's too daunting. I can't. I don't have the skills. Well, Squarespace holds your hand. They have beautiful templates to choose from, and then it's plug and play. You can insert your images, your graphics, your text, and then you can plug and play different features.
And you need a website. What do you do these days where you don't need a website? We didn't ask for this. We didn't say, can we please all need websites?
No.
But Squarespace says, this is the game.
Yes.
Let's play it. I'm going to help you.
They're on your team.
They want you to succeed.
They do.
Squarespace wants nothing more. When you succeed, Squarespace succeeds.
Right?
They
It's
don't
so
want you
true.
to have a hard time. They want it to be so easy that it almost just pops up.
Yes.
I want a website. Pop.
So when it comes to those features, it really is endless. They have gallery options. You can do mailing lists. You can do e-commerce. If you don't believe me, you could go to dearshandy.com right now and click on merch and you'll see what we mean. And having been, by the way, now on the other side of the e-commerce side of things, I cannot stress enough how seamless Squarespace makes it. You can also do scheduling. Let's say what you do is you provide a service where you would be scheduled. They do that. They have everything, literally everything.
Everything you want.
So go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Shandy to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Again, that's squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Shandy for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. But I think that you can do a very good service to yourself and this person by taking the incredibly difficult and high road of telling her, listen, V, I don't want the money back. It's fine. I accept it. I just want your friendship back. And see what happens.
Ooh.
Because not unlike ghosting somebody who's being a complete shithead in a relationship can actually bring them closer to you, which, by the way, I also don't recommend, but it is a tactic that works sometimes. I think this might be not only your best path to getting the money back, but also to repairing the friendship. And it is going to take a lot of swallowing of pride and anger. But I think this is what you should do. And
financial discomfort.
But
let's be honest.
But you're not getting the money back.
Yeah, she's going to have financial discomfort no matter what. Yeah.
I want you to think about that money being gone. It's burned. It's literally in a pile of ashes.
Yeah.
It's not even in a jar. It was thrown in the sewer.
What you got out of it was a really great vacation and experience that you paid twice the amount you should have paid.
Yeah, you basically got ripped off of the hotel. The hotel charged you made a lot of additional charges for like the mini
and
bar.
And you paid for twice as much food as you actually ate.
Yeah. So this is what you need to do. Number one, assume you're retroactively following my rule. Assume that money is gone and it never was there to begin with.
Yes.
It's gone. You just threw it in the garbage. But you didn't, but you had a nice time, as Sharleen said. Then assume that your friendship with this woman was tarnished by something that never should have been brought out. Therefore, your friendship with this woman is still intact if you eliminate this demon. So I think, and I don't know if this is going to be successful on either front, but I think the right thing for you to do as a higher functioning, as a high frequency human being, is to
your highest self.
This is you are vibrating at an extremely high level if you do this. You are essentially at level of the gods. Go to her and say, very sincerely, I don't need the money back. I understand. I just want your friendship back. That's it. See what happens. If she does not respond with open arms and heart to this, I have to say goodbye.
Wow. You are more, I guess you operate at a higher frequency than I do, Andy, for even giving that advice. Because to me, this is friendship ending.
And 99% of the time, I would agree with you.
It's not just about the money. It's the hardship that you're willing to put someone else under. And it's not even, this is what gets me, it's not even life or death. Let's say her friend couldn't pay rent. Let's say she couldn't eat. She couldn't do something, like her dog is dying or something where it's like, I'm desperate and I need help. In which case, like that's, people operate differently when they're desperate. So I'd have a little more of a heart. It was a vacation that she went on. She ate the food. She made many, many empty promises about paying her back. This girl doesn't think about anyone but herself. And I say good riddance.
I say good.
How could you do that to someone who you call a friend? In what world is that acting like a friend? All you're doing is taking, and I bet you anything that represents more in their friendship than just money. I don't believe that it's just money. Like when I think back to those friends I was talking about, the ones who never got the round of drinks, when I take a step back and look at it from like a higher vantage point, I see that they weren't as curious about me. There wasn't an even back and forth of conversation and question asking and curiosity about each other. It represented selfishness.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, selfishness, especially, she's 32. Natalie's 32. She's entering to me an era, the 30s, I really think are your era of finding the friends who serve you as much as you serve them. It's not about being selfish or self-serving. It's about reciprocity. Yeah. And right now she's not getting reciprocity in this friendship. And
you know what I will say to you, Natalie? I will say that either advice here is equally good. I'm as much on your side as I am on my side. I think either path can be taken, and there is no penalty to you. However, I believe that the saddest ends of friendships are money
related. I mean, I know what you mean.
And they often are misguided. So money is a weird thing. It does strange things to people.
Yeah.
It is truly.
You can even see my reaction as doing something strange to me.
Yes.
Like my reaction around this is like.
You're having a guttural reaction because you've had experience with it.
Yes, I'm having a charged reaction. I can admit it.
Money does things to people that no other thing in the world does.
Yes.
And money truly is the original sin of humanity. Why did we need money? We needed money because we need to be like, this is mine and that's yours. There's separation.
Yeah.
Like I want this and you have that, and I want yours and you want mine. And
we need a currency to make all that happen.
Instead of just warmth and like communication and language and
togetherness
and bartering. Yeah, here's a goat.
Trading.
Yeah, just give me a goat. Here's a lamb. Give me a goat. That's a good trade. But
a lamb and a goat.
Yeah, lamb. Is a lamb a good trade for a goat? No, a goat's more valuable than a lamb.
You think?
I mean, as far if you were in the middle, like 10,000 years ago, I'd say a goat's more than a lamb, because a goat, you can drink the milk and eventually, sadly, eat the goat.
Yeah.
But a lamb, you can just eat the lamb.
What?
And you could also shave its
Couldn't you
hair.
just grow the lamb into a sheep?
A sheep gives milk?
Yeah, sheep's milk.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. They both give milk.
And then you can get some wool out of that thing?
Sheep's milk.
Yeah.
You don't hear much about sheep's milk in the old days.
Yeah, I only know
goat's milk.
Yeah, when I think of sheep's milk, I'm thinking feta.
So look, honestly, now you're talking about it, I think a sheep and a goat is a perfectly even trade.
Glad we got to the bottom of that. Yeah. I would argue that the sheep is a better trade because you're getting some wool.
You're getting wool.
You're not getting wool out of a goat.
You're getting the wool. You're right. You know what? Now I'm thinking maybe if you're too sheep heavy, it's a good trade to get a goat.
Oh, well, now you're taking into account these other circumstances.
So, okay. Anyway, the point is money makes people do very weird things. Mm-hmm. And I have seen more friendships ended by money by tenfold than anything else.
Yes.
Not romantic, like a guy steals someone's girlfriend. I've even gotten over that with friends. Both ways. I didn't steal girlfriends, but it was kind of like a little bit of a, kind of mixing and matching. But anyway, the point is that money ruins friendships. It ruins marriages. It ruins everything. Money is a ruiner of things. Mm-hmm. It also gives you goods and services, which is nice. But the dark side is very dark. So I will say this. I will say that if you can separate the money from this relationship and extract it, exercise the damage that the money's done, there may be something here, because not everyone speaks the same language with money. Maybe V is thinking, why does she want this money? Who cares? This is money. No. Why is she being such a weirdo about this money?
No, the only reason she would think that is because she would think, Natalie doesn't have it as hard as me. Money doesn't affect her the same way it affects me.
But that's an interpretation, which I agree with in certain circumstances, but maybe she has a block. A lot of people don't get money. They don't understand why people
but you cannot get money in a way that affects you, but you shouldn't not get money in a way that puts other people out.
But you may be so blind to the concept of money that you don't appreciate how other people appreciate it.
That is, in my opinion, too much consideration. Like, you can always analyze why someone does the shitty thing they do, but at the end of the day, they still did the shitty thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, I understand, like, you can be like, well, they are the way they are because this happened and this horrible thing happened. Maybe she was raised in a certain way with money. But it still, she did the shitty thing. As far as Natalie's concerned, Natalie is still out $1,000.
Yeah. No, it's very hard for me to give this advice. I'm trying to give like a very holier than thou advice.
Yeah, you are.
I think that
I do, though. What I will say about you is the growth you have made, Andy. I do think that you could possibly do what you are advising right now. And I think it's clear from my reaction to this question that I could not.
Yes. I think that I would be right on the fence between your advice and my advice. And I don't know which side I'd fall on, but I could fall on my side.
For me,
and I know my side is the right side.
I don't think your side is not the right side. It's just that for me, I value above all mutual understanding and reciprocity. And I think that what this displays is a lack of that.
I agree. All I'm saying is that what happens if you strip out the money from this situation? What happens? Is there still a friendship? Is it still worth salvaging?
V didn't come up to her and say, I'm so sorry. I'm really hitting hard times. I cannot pay you back, but I have it in the back of my mind and I just feel terrible. I would like, is there any way that I can pay you back over? Like, just even like thinking about ghosting her.
Maybe
she's the one willing to throw the friendship away.
Oh, it's disgraceful, but maybe V's shame is so thick and runs so deep.
I think that's what you're relating to is her shame.
Yeah.
Because Andy, you are.
I have a lot of shame.
Yeah.
And I could imagine if I was in such hard financial times that I couldn't pay my friend back for this wonderful vacation we took, my shame may trump all else. I may be like, you know what? I'm throwing away this friendship. I'm hiding under a rock. I can't stomach this. I cannot exist with this shame. Therefore, I'm eliminating the source of shame, even though it costs me so much. And that might be what's happening here. Honestly, I can't think of another reason why this is happening unless V is just an absolute piece of shit.
Okay, well, I think we've kind of answered this. I feel like I could talk about this for another hour. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's funny because on the surface, you could be like, oh, there's not much to unpack here. It's like, my friend owes me $1,000.
No, so much to unpack.
Do I forgive this? It is so much. And I respect your angle, actually. And I think people might be surprised by it. But I really think it shows something in you. You know, there's like how you relate to the shame and how you really want to uncover why people are the way they are, like the thing that makes them behave in a way that might not be the most flattering.
I want to get to the bottom of it because we've never had a question. It's funny because the reason I'm giving this advice is because her response is so horrible, even compared to other money questions we've had. Usually they linger around. They're like, oh, I'll get you back, or oh, I'm really trying. And
well,
like,
that's what's missing for me.
This girl is gone.
Yeah.
She's gone. And I want to get to the bottom of that because I think it's the opposite of what we think, obviously. I think that the obvious thought is she's just a zero.
Yeah.
She's an asshole.
Yeah.
But I think that the extreme response bears uncovering. I think the nature of the response is so extreme that it must be rooted in something that is not purely negative in relation to her friend Natalie.
But it's not Natalie's job to educate or fix or repair or all the things, to uncover.
She doesn't have to do it. All she has to do is take a deep breath, swallow her pride, and take the high road for one email, one text, one phone call, and see what happens.
I think above all, the person Natalie will benefit by forgiving V, at least, even if she doesn't become friends with her, is herself.
Yes.
Because right now it's such we talk about the energy leak. Yeah. We even make the sound effect.
It's
think
leaking,
about how much energy is leaking thinking about this.
Yeah.
It not just the money, the friendship, everything. And so in that sense, I do think it would be good for her to just forgive V. I don't think she needs to go so far as to reach out and make this grand gesture of how she doesn't owe her anything and she still wants her friendship. I think just more for herself, she should forgive V just to move on.
Much harder to do that for yourself than actually doing it to the person. It's easy. Send her a text. Be like, I forgive you. I don't need the money. I just want you to be my friend again. And she gets everything she wants. She gets the forgiveness. And she gets the answer. And she gets ostensibly
the friendship.
a friendship.
The friendship's never the same. I'm sorry.
I think The friendship, no, the
I
friendship.
swear we'll move on shortly. But the
Maybe in
friendship's
10
never the
years, maybe in
same.
10 years, the friendship will be repaired.
Okay.
But I will say, if you are having dreams about someone,
Yeah.
and I've been in this situation, I tried to repair it, but I was unsuccessful. And I was very happy I tried. As much as I thought I might be like, oh, that's embarrassing. Look at you. You tried to be friends again and the person rejected it. Like, how do you feel about yourself? No, I felt great. Was the job was done and I moved on. I never had another dream about this person again. I never thought of, I was done.
Oh,
it was just an absolute
actually,
release.
Andy, that's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
No, I think that it is something you need to think about if you are dreaming about this person. End this. End the dreams. You cannot be dreaming about this person. That's bad.
So end the dreams by reaching out.
Close it.
True forgiveness.
Close it. This is closure. This is the definition of closure.
And never ever lend her $1 ever again.
Ever again. if you split one order of French fries,
You just
then
always separate checks.
You get the money first from her.
Yeah. Separate checks are always an option.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, good luck. We are thinking of you. I would love an update. I'm very curious.
Me too.
This one, I mean, we ended up going on for a while about this one. I'm actually surprised. I was not expecting this one to be like such a lightning rod.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Andy, I think that's a wrap for this Q&A.
All right.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify,
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. And Andy, is something going on over there? Ruby. Oh.
High five.
Yes.
Oh.
She's got more seating.
Oh, and coming back to that.
Oh.
No, high five. High five.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.